Hello there guys, it's Martha Mew here, and today we have another match for you to watch. So I am battling with my Eevee deck against a friend Elliot, who is using a Solgaleo deck. We can just see us setting up here, and luckily we actually do get a basic in our first hands, and we're just putting everything else on the field. So me and Elliot have a very sort of weird relationship with our decks together when we're battling. Most of the time Elliot manages to win, and especially when I end up starting Giratina. I've since taken this Giratina out of my deck. The Giratina was in there because I had a very bad experience with a Greninja break, so it kind of stops in its tracks when you get that one out, but yeah. I've since added Sylveon in there, and perhaps that helps the deck anyway. So you can see I've just put the Poison Barb on the Giratina and ended my turn. I haven't got any other basic Pokemon, no other way to get basic Pokemon, so that's all I could do. On the other hand there, Elliot just starting with that Cosmog. I'm pretty sure I remember him having a pretty bad hand to start with. Elliot plays hilariously and does an odd play here where he tries to use an energy as a Kukui, and we're like, you're declaring a Kukui, but where is the Kukui? I'm discussing with him now that because he's used the Kukui, the Dust Gathering, which does nothing originally, actually now does damage, and so I actually realise I forget to add the 20 damage to the Giratina, looking at it. Not that that really makes much difference, but yeah, obviously it poisons the Cosmog. I actually managed to get the Skylar, which I'm pretty sure I'm finding a Nest Ball with, to get an Eevee. Nest Ball and then Eevee, there we go. So finally it can come off to a bit of a start. I just need to leave the Giratina in there to die, or find a switch for it at some point, hopefully. Meanwhile, Elliot is hoping that he finds either Cosmo, which I actually think I've just seen in his hand, or he finds a Rare Candy and a Solgaleo in one turn. There's me derping and actually adding the Fairy Energy to the Eevee to evolve the Eevee, even after shuffling my deck, and the Sylveon manages to be on the very bottom of my deck, so when I pick the deck up it's right there, which is fun, so I don't really have to go through my deck at all. Passing my turn, can't do anything else. I haven't got any way to switch out Giratina, so I can use Magical Ribbon, which is a shame. I would have loved to have done that. Elliot there setting up the other Cosmog. He's thinking about evolving using that Cosmo, and he does. I can see the N in his hand now. He's adding Parallel City so that I can't have more bench Pokemon. More than 3 bench Pokemon, I believe Parallel City is. Oh, there we go, I'm using N. So we both shuffle our hand into our deck, and we're both still at 6 prize cards, so we both draw 6 cards. He's hoping at this point to get the Solgaleo and the Rare Candy to evolve the active Pokemon, I believe, so he can just use his GX attack to get those energy everywhere, except for the fact, of course, that using his GX attack now, where Solgaleo will find 5 energy from the deck and put them onto Pokemon in any way he likes, would be bad because he doesn't have his support Pokemon on his bench either. I believe we both had a pretty bad hand here, even after the N, but at least Elliot's managed to find the Lugia to pop on his bench. I remember in this instance I had 2 Espeons in my hand before the N, and I was like, oh, thank God, I can get rid of them. But then on the N, I actually managed to draw both of the Espeons again. And again, with me using the Nest Ball and finding immediately what I wanted on the very bottom of the deck, which is pretty awesome. So there's that Glaceon. Comes out onto the bench. I managed to get an Eevee from the N, so I pop that down as well. At this stage I'm looking at what the hell I can do, So I'm thinking, well, if I use the Kukui, I can see if I can find a switch first before I am painfully having to use a double colourless to switch out this Giratina. Elliot just thinking he's screwed right now because he's not managing to get everything into his hands to play. But yeah, I'm sitting here with at least a Sylveon with 1 energy on, so I could use Magical Ribbon if I manage to get it into active, which I think is about to happen in a few minutes. Here we go. Using the DCE to attach and then detach to retreat the Giratina. I'm using Magical Ribbon now and finding 3 cards and just thinking about what I need. Usually that includes DCE, Lysander, switch, or because I know his deck heavily revolves around double colourless energy on that Lugia, I sometimes will go for the enhanced hammer. But as well, I'm also heavily thinking about the choice band, which I run in my deck, to do just this extra back damage because the Solgaleo has 250 HP, which is a lot of damage, a lot of damage to deal. And of course it can just wipe you out in one go because it does 230 damage with its one hit. It does get rid of all of its energy, but it's actually surprising how quickly Elliot can power that thing back up and be able to attack you again. So yeah, so I've managed to finish finding my 3 cards and it's now Elliot's turn. Usually he'd have carried out his turn while I was searching and I just sort of try and pay attention, but because of the video purposes we're waiting. He uses a Skylar there and he is finding, let's have a look, a Solgaleo. How can you find a Solgaleo with a Skylar? Elliot? There you go. He's just realised what he was done. He meant to find an Ultra Ball with the Skylar. There we go. His eventual aim was to get that, but he's... There we go. He's using the Ultra Ball now and he's going to find the Solgaleo. So he discarded a rare candy and another parallel city for the Ultra Ball cost. So there we go, he's got his Solgaleo finally, and he's evolving the one without damage on it. Attaching the DCE to the Lugia. I believe he may use Ultra Road now to switch out and use his... Yeah, there we go, there's the Ultra Road, which is Solgaleo's ability, letting him switch his active with a bench Pokemon. It doesn't have to be itself, but in this case it was. And now he's probably going to use the GX attack. Unfortunately, Elliot doesn't have a GX counter, so he's going to, I think, sort of indicate that he's using it by flipping my own. There we go. So he's putting, by the looks, 2 more energy on his Solgaleo in active, and then all of the rest of the energy on the Lugia on the bench, which is his usual play, and it powers up things pretty well. Usually I counter that by being dirty using Sylveon's GX attack, which obviously puts everything, it takes 2 Pokemon from the bench and puts them back into their hand with all cards attached to them. So basically just getting rid of all of that setup. It does unfortunately obviously add all of that energy back into his hand, which includes those 4 double colourless energies, but it slows things down an awful lot. I think that is what I end up doing here. It's very, very tempting just to sit there and Magical Ribbon to get more resources, but at the same time it's very dangerous to let him have another turn because the Sylveon will die in the next turn if I do not do something about it. So there we go, I'm adding a Muscle Band to do a little bit more damage as well. I think I've just decided that adding that Lysandering in the Cosmog into active and getting rid of it isn't actually the best move at this point. I don't remember what I had in my hand to make me think that. But I'm wanting him to get rid of the energy rather than adding to its hand. I think I was thinking about the fact that I had Glaceon on the bench, and I also had the Espeon on the bench ready as well, so that because obviously the Lugia is super vulnerable to the Espeon, which can do a lot of damage when you've got that much energy on a Pokemon, because its psychic attack does 60 plus 30 for every energy, and a double colourless counts for 2 energy, so which is exactly why he's put them on the Lugia itself, because the Lugia works in the same kind of way that the Espeon does, but it counts both active Pokemon's energy instead. But yeah, the amount of energy on his Pokemon alone is enough to knock himself out when I use Psychic. So I'm thinking in the long run it is slightly safer to get rid of the energy and not have it in his hand. But then obviously he goes and plays this Rayquaza, which takes energy from the discard pile. So actually putting energy in the discard pile, and I'm thinking about it and looking back, is probably not the best thing, but I don't think that was the misplay of the game, to be quite honest. Because I wanted that energy on that Lugia because of the Espeon. I'm now currently, I think looking at my hand and thinking, what do I want to promote? I think I end up promoting the Giratina because I want it to die. I just don't want it there anymore. I can poison something with it. If it hits me, I'm just asking Elliot how much his Lugia can do, and it can do 180 damage. So obviously 180 on its own, without the extra 60 from, and of course my Espeon can do 30 more per energy, 10 more per energy than the Lugia can. Because Lugia does 20 times the amount of energy. So that Solgaleo is sitting there with quite a lot of damage on it, so the second bite from my Glaceon can do rather a lot to it. I think it actually ends up being a knockout if I manage to get that off, but my primary source at the minute would be the Lugia because it has a lot of energy on it. So he manages to get the second Solgaleo out there, putting another energy on that Solgaleo, so it only needs one more energy in order to attack. Elliot using Sycamore, so he's discarding his whole hand and then drawing 7. I'm looking back at this match and feeling like maybe losing the Sylveon wasn't a good thing. So he's got a Tau map from that Sycamore there and obviously immediately used it. And we can see there's an Enhanced Hammer, a Cosmog, a Lysander and a Talonflame in the prize cards. So his obvious primary sources of interest in those prize cards are obviously the Enhanced Hammer and the Lysander. I feel like the Lysander is of more importance for him to try and, pull forward that Espeon and knock it out before it can attack him, because that's obviously a problem. He knows my deck pretty well. He knows the Espeon and the Glaceon are the biggest threats. I mean, Sylveon's a huge threat because it can find things that can wreck him, but he knows the actual attacks that will do serious damage are from Espeon and Glaceon's Crystal Ray, which stops his Solgaleo from even remotely hurting my Glaceon. think I'm considering Lysandering at the minute, because I believe I have the double colourless energy in my hand to attach. Or I decided, because I've seen the enhanced hammer in his prize cards, I am going to do it the slow way and add basic energy onto Espeon slowly and just keep that in active. I'm just checking the wording on Solgaleo's ability here so that I can see that it doesn't include itself in Ultra Road. So yeah, I do have a double colourless in hand, but I choose not to attach it because of that enhanced hammer he's got in his prize cards on, and because I know he's going to take a prize card from killing this Giratina, which I believe he does in this turn because he's now got all the 3 energy on that Solgaleo. And this is a Solgaleo that's only got 4 damage on it. Or 40 damage, I suppose. Energy retrieval, taking 2 basic energy from his discard pile. Using Ultra Road to move the other Solgaleo in and knocking out the Giratina. And we can see him probably take this Lysander from the... Yep, taking a Lysander. That's the power of Town Map. You can see what's in your prizes and you know what you want. And so yeah, the Espeon comes in. I have a Lysander of my own in my hand. I just need 1 more energy on the Espeon and I can Lysander in that Lugia and it just obliterates it. And obviously at that stage then he's got 2 Solgaleo with no energy on it and a Lugia that is now in his discard pile. There we go. He knows what's coming anyway, so he just gets rid of the Lugia. Puts in that Rayquaza, which is troublesome, very, very troublesome. Attaching 1 energy, which isn't enough to actually use his attack, which I think he forgets at first, and then we work it out in the end. I believe from now on it's turn wars, because the Solgaleo obviously have a lot of HP, and actually my Espeon can only do 60 damage at a time without the choice band. I'd have really liked a choice band on this Espeon to do that extra 30 damage, would have been really, really nice to those Solgaleo. But my aim at this point was was to try and power up the Glaceon on the bench and knock out the Solgaleo with Second Bite or Crystal Ray, because obviously then they can't attack. But obviously Crystal Ray doesn't stop the Rayquaza. Here I'm deciding whether I want to do 60 damage to the Solgaleo and like put more damage counters on that Pokemon for the Glaceon to Second Bite so it does a lot more damage, or I'm just thinking, what can I do? I just need to get rid of something here. It's really difficult decisions because I know what these Pokemon can do, but obviously it takes a lot more energy for them to set themselves up, and I know because of his Ultra Road ability on the Solgaleo that the Solgaleo isn't staying inactive for me to hit. I need to keep pulling it in, and obviously that becomes increasingly difficult. So I'm just thinking I need to put as much damage on these Pokemon as possible so that when I do knock out the Rayquaza I can just Second Bite and KO. Hopefully before he gets enough energy on there, but Turbo Storm, unfortunately, Rayquaza's attack takes 2 basic energy from the discard pile and puts them onto the bench, onto 1 bench Pokemon, which obviously really, really charges up that Solgaleo pretty damn quickly, and this becomes turn wars at this moment because I know I need to get rid of these Solgaleo pretty quickly before they power up again. He's only got 3 prize cards left, so yeah, it's turn wars here. There we go, I've got the 2 energy on there. In hindsight, I think I should really have paid the cost and retreated the Espeon so that I can start Crystal Raying so he can't attack me with these Solgaleo. Obviously the Rayquaza can do some damage, but it takes more turns for it to do that, and obviously by that time there's more energy on the Solgaleos for the Espeon to knock out with Psychic. So looking back at this match, maybe there was something more I could do, but obviously I didn't know what Elliot was going to do either. So it's all a game of chance at this point. I don't know. It's trying to make the right decision for the right reason. Yeah, it's very, very difficult. I think I'm looking at the state here and I'm realising that it is very, very who's going to win a turn war and who can get what done quicker. And I think I realise that Elliot will get this done much, much quicker than I can. So I'm using the Versus Seeker as a Lysander there to put that Solgaleo back in. And I'm choosing to do more damage to the Solgaleo with the Espeon instead of using Crystal Ray. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of damage there, just leaving that Solgaleo on 20 HP. And I'm thinking here he's going to knock out the Espeon, but then he pulls out the Lysander and KOs the Glaceon, which is my win con. And I now realise I am in a lot of trouble because I've got no way of stopping these Solgaleos from attacking. I can obviously knock out this one Solgaleo here, but I've got 4 prize cards left and he wins the turn war. So I believe he brings in his, that there, and there's going to be 2 more energy on this Solgaleo on the bench very shortly. And he's already got the one there. There you go, using the Turbo Storm to put the other 2 on there, so he's now powered up completely. I cannot one-shot this Solgaleo, and I possibly actually could, but I do not have a Lysander. So I can't bring it in. If I could have brought this Solgaleo in to knock it out, I'd have won. But sadly, I am realising now that he's won the turn war because that Glaceon was my win con. If only I could use another Lysander. So yeah, I can't get this Solgaleo in to KO it, so I know that he's just going to Ultra Road into the active spot and KO my Espeon. So I just choose to use Kukui, knock out the Rayquaza, and then obviously he comes in and... yeah. So the Rayquaza is knocked out, but obviously that just comes in, uses 230 damage attack and wins. Which was pretty epic, so I will see you guys next time. Bye!